Good morning, folks. I'm going to give it a couple minutes so that people get logged in. I know that just kicking off, we got a password, so I'm sure we're going to get some text asking what the password is. So we'll start in about 2 minutes, give or take. I'll get the manual uploaded for you and be prepared to contribute, folks. I'm going to ask that we get some cameras turned on when we get started. And I'm going to be asking for contributions when we start doing some of our exercises. So be ready for that. Make sure you got something to write with or type with to take some notes, because this will be interactive and not just me talking at you the whole time. So we will be with you in just a few minutes. All right.
I think you're muted.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you, Rob. How we all doing? Nice to see you all today. Well, I see some of you. So we are getting ready to kick off Ignite. I'm going to ask that we have full participation today. And by that, I mean, I want to see your lovely faces. So please, if you are not wearing clothes right now, go put a shirt on, do your hair, and let's go, baby. Let's get ready to participate. You know, this is going to be an interactive class. I'm not here just to talk. I'm here to get you to engage, because we know that when we're in a learning environment, the more you participate, the more you take home with you. Okay, so very important. And so make sure you also have something that you are able to take notes with, either on your laptop or on a piece of paper or on the actual student manual. If you care to print it out, you are welcome to do so. I'm going to go ahead and drop that manual in the chat right now for your download abilities. There we go. You should see that in just a minute. So go ahead and grab that PDF, and I will be referring to that from time to time. And if I need to share that, I can on the screen, I can do that as well. So nice to be with you today. I'm excited. We're kicking off Ignite. We do in the Ignite class between 4 and 5 times a year, depending on how the calendar works out. So we do, kind of bring this in and out of our curriculum. And it's one of those classes where I recommend every agent takes it at least once a year. When you're, just getting started, this is a great one to like take while you're either pre-licensing or brand new, and then bumping into it again the second or third time it rolls around. So, great program here that covers basically everything real estate related, and it's all designed to help you sell houses. The bottom line, right? We're looking to get you to at least 14 units a year. Okay. Now here in SoCal, that's going to be a healthy 6-figure income. And once we get you to that point, you're capping, and you're really going to be on your way to growing a big real estate business. So welcome. We're doing this in collaboration with our La Mirada and Cerritos and Long Beach market centers, which I'm excited for. So you will have different instructors all throughout the week. We're going to be meeting 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to about 12 o'clock. That doesn't mean your workday ends at noon. We're going to give you basically, quote unquote, homework assignments, which is actually your job, right? For lead gen, script practice, contracts, write-ups, and practicing writing RPAs, things of that nature. And, I'll be teaching the Tuesday classes for the most part. I see Rob's on here. Rob and La Mirada, along with Richard, will be teaching our Fridays. And then our productivity coach and assistant team leader in Cerritos, Eddie Habash, will be doing our Thursdays. So get a little flavor from all three of us with different backgrounds and different positions. So it'll be pretty fun. So I will start by introducing myself and let the other boys do that on their days. So my name is Nick Resendez. I am your broker for all of you on this call, unless you're not with us yet, in which case, sign up, right? So I'm the broker for all three of the offices, and then I'm the productivity coach in Long Beach. Productivity coach means I get to work with our newest agents on their first 3 transactions, walking you hand in hand in doing that, as well as actually getting on path to building a real estate business. So coaching is my passion for sure. I love it. I've been in real estate since about 1998 when I was just a young buck going to Cal State Long Beach, looking to get a degree, got a job at a local Century 21 back then, answering phones at night. They called me Nick at night because I would come in the evenings. I would pick up the phones, do the paperwork. And then I saw all these people driving their fancy cars, and I was driving my beat up Civic. And I said, I wonder what this job's all about. Ended up getting my license in 2000, worked various leadership roles in addition to producing full-time. And then in 2009, I went to an independent luxury boutique and helped them grow that office here in Long Beach. And then in 2016, I came to Keller Williams, started in Cerritos as the productivity coach, and then, progressed through leadership roles. And now here's where I'm at, right? So that's a little bit about me. I'm excited to be your instructor today. And so what is Ignite? Well, basically Ignite's going to be a 6-week program, and it's designed to equip all of you with the essentials to build a successful real estate business. Now, the first 3 weeks of Ignite are called Spark. And the overreaching goal of Spark basically is for agents to get an appointment with a buyer or seller, minimum, right? We want to get you to be sitting down with a buyer, with a seller, in a conversation about listing or buying property. Okay, so at a minimum, we are looking for that kind of outcomes. Okay, and the goal here is to at least be getting on track to have a contract signed within your first couple of weeks. Okay. And you're going to work on this goal every single day, building your database. Now, some of you are beyond that. Some of you are already booking appointments. So what this is going to be doing is solidifying the foundation for you to basically allow you to do this on a daily and weekly basis, right? Because appointments is what it's all about. Face-to-face in a selling situation, that's where you all get paid, okay? So we're going to help you talk about what some of your core habits are and what an agent does on a daily basis. Okay. And we're going to go kind of dive into what the rest of the course is going to look like towards the end of this module. Okay. But we have a lot to get to. So I'm just going to start getting through our slides here. As you are, engaging, listening, etc., feel free to raise your hand, interrupt, and just say, hey, Nick, I got a question. We have the chat box. You can always give your little emojis. If you hear something you love, put the heart up there. Okay. So, again, we're looking to engage. And again, I'd love to see all of your faces. So if you're open to let me see who you are and how you doing, I'm all about it. Right. So let's get into our slides here. All right. So first we're going to talk about your big why. Okay. So the question I have for you is, why did you want to become a real estate agent? What are your hopes and goals in real estate? Okay. And I want you to maybe take a few notes right now and just jot down a vision of your ideal life that is funded through your real estate business. Write down just a couple of notes about why real estate, what you're looking to achieve, what you're looking to fund, and think about, right? What does that life look like, and who is it going to impact? Who is it impacting, right? Usually our goals are well beyond just ourselves. Usually it incorporates other people. Who are those other people? What does charity look like? What does your legacy look like? Just jot a couple of notes down. And this is the best way to kind of kick off any course, and that is to think about where we want to go. I always say that if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So let's think about where we want to get to. Now, as you are all in coaching, and if you're not, be in coaching. But as you're in coaching, one of the things we do multiple times throughout the year is really dive deep into goal setting and creating business plans, which we call a GPS and a 411. In fact, some of you on here I know just recently did this with me in my group coaching, which we do. So take another minute. What are you looking to achieve? Who are you going to support? What does your legacy look like? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you better? Just jot a couple notes down. Let's get those creative juices flowing first thing in the morning. So I'm going to ask for a couple people to unmute yourself and share with me why real estate and what are you looking to achieve through this business? So who wants to chime in? And I am not afraid to start calling people out, so be ready to contribute. But I will start with asking for volunteers. Who wants to share?
I can start off.
Let's do it.
I wrote down three things. Why was first thing was to help others establish home ownership in different ways that they can establish it. I want to kind of generate my own business, like start my own business through real estate. And for myself, biggest thing is just build wealth, build generational wealth.
I love that. Generational wealth. That's one of my favorite things to hear. Like I think about my kids, what am I going to leave behind for them? And obviously it's going to help me currently as well. Right. So I love that. Thank you for chiming in. Let's do two more volunteers. Who's next? Let's go, people. Tell me, why real estate? What's the goal?
I'll go. This is Alex.
Alex, fire it off.
So why real estate is, I wanted to have an understanding of how it works so that I can help people who are in need. That's the major priority, and make an impact in their life. That's, I'm a person that always going to remember someone that helped them get one of the greatest investments. Also, by supporting them, I want that to reflect how it'll support my living expenses. So basically, you help them and then they help you in a sense.
That's right. I love that you said that. At the end of the day, right, it's all about contribution. It's all about giving to other people. And I always told myself when I was starting out in real estate, I said, if I can help enough people become wealthy in real estate, then I will become wealthy in real estate. Okay. So I love that, Alex. You're spot on. Let's do one more. Who's going to be next? Who's the third of our contributors about why real estate? What are you looking to accomplish and what are the goals?
I'll go ahead and go next. This is Leticia. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So one of the things that I actually hope to achieve, of course, it's help build trust among the people, right? As an agent or as a realtor, because basically when you build trust with the customer or the client, then basically that creates leads, right? And so building trust is important to me with customers. And of course, helping them accomplish their dream, right? I'm gonna help them make their dream come true and either buying their first home, eventually maybe buying an apartment complex down the road, and maybe even becoming an investor with me at some point, right? So also by me helping them, they're actually going to be helping me because I actually plan to invest some of those a percentage of my earnings because I want to build homes for the poor in different countries. So me helping them, they're helping me build homes for poor people that actually are going to benefit as well as we are actually all going to benefit at some point, right, of each other. So that's why.
I love it. I love it. And I keep hearing from everybody, help, contribution, right? Pouring into other people, and that's going to help you as well, right? The more you give, the more you get. So, wow, I'm impressed. I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. The goal here is just to kind of set your mind about what it is you're looking to accomplish, and then recognizing that the things we talk about in Ignite are designed to create habits that are going to achieve all the things that you tell me you want. Okay. Now, that's the positive side. I want to think about the flip side of this. There is a concept that we talk a lot about in Keller Williams called limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. And a limiting belief is a belief that we have taken on in our life through wherever it came from. When we were a little kid all the way up until now, we've adopted belief systems, and some of them don't serve us. Some of them don't serve us as we get into a career where you're an independent contractor and your success is dictated by your actions and you hold yourself accountable, at least at a large part. Okay. So limiting beliefs are these, I'm going to call them lies that we tell ourselves that hold us back. Okay. Now, some of the limiting beliefs that I hear frequently in coaching are things like, I can't start selling real estate yet because I don't know how to sell a house. Or I hear things like, I don't have the time to lead generate for 3 hours a day. Or I'll hear things like, I don't know what to say to a client. Or I'll hear things like, I don't want to call my friends and family and ask for business because they're going to think all I want is something from them. Okay. So these are called limiting beliefs. And what I'd like for y'all to write down right now is the top 2 or 3 limiting beliefs that come to mind that may be holding you back, might be holding you back. The things that may be those things that scare you a little bit, that are preventing you from moving on to that next phase of your life as you jump into the real estate business. Okay. So I want you to write down, what are 2, maybe 3 limiting beliefs that you hold? Because as Henry Ford has said, if you think you can do a thing or you think you can't do a thing, you are right. Okay, so write down 2, maybe 3. I don't know how to sell a house. I don't have enough time. I'm not a natural salesperson. I don't have the gift of gab. Right? These are all the things that I hear. So what are those for you? And as you write them down, I want you to write down what we would call an unlimiting belief. Okay. I want you to flip the script. If you're writing down, I don't have enough time to lead generate 3 hours a day, you can rephrase that to say, I will make time for the things that are going to impact my life most powerfully. Things like lead generation. Or if you put down, I don't know how to sell a house yet, therefore I can't go out and prospect. Maybe you can write down, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know where to get my resources and answers, which are all your leadership. So does anyone have a limiting belief that they're not sure exactly what to write, kind of to rephrase it and make it unlimiting? I don't know how to connect with people. AJ, you're going to love this because I'm going to give you a script today, right? So how about this? I can learn how to connect. I can learn how to connect. All this is practice and execution, right? You guys are getting into a completely different industry. You got to learn. We got to take time to learn and practice. Role play is going to be a big piece of your everyday. Okay. Let's keep going, folks. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to take a minute to go over what a limiting belief is. So next we've got what successful agents do every day. Oh, I got to go into this. Hugh, you wrote down, I don't know how to look for investment properties. And I'm going to go ahead and write in here. I am going to read the MREI, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, another book that we have at KW, right? And I know in Long Beach at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays, Mark does a breakdown of that book and goes over a little chapter once a week. So that will help you with that. Awesome. I love it. So At this point, in your manual on page 4 is the slide you're looking at. What successful agents do every day. I know we've had a few people join us recently. I'm going to go ahead and drop in the chat our participant guide again. And there it is. So basically, you have 2 pieces of business every day. Okay. One is to grow your business and one is to run your business. Now, if you look at the slide, you can't do all the things on the left side we can't do all the things on the right side without doing everything on the left. Meaning you can't run a business if you haven't grown a business. Or to put it more simply, there is no marketing or showing or negotiating if you haven't lead generated or booked appointments to brought people into your business, right? And we're going to talk about every single piece of this slide. So grow the business, lead generate for buyers and sellers, make seller listing appointments and get listings, give those presentations, make buyer presentations and get buyer listings, preview real estate, which I'm so glad showings, open houses are all back and available because we need to be looking at real estate daily. Okay. And then on the run your business side, marketing, showing, negotiating, managing your deals, managing your vendors, constantly reviewing and pivoting on your goals, looking at compliance and risk management with our contracts, getting training and coaching, and then managing your money. Okay. So those are the things that agents do on a day-to-day basis. Now, let's look a little bit more about the first part of Ignite. So Ignite is broken into 2 pieces, Spark and Elementals. Okay. So today with Spark, we are going to talk about fueling your career. And in this module, we're going to talk about your sphere of influence. We're going to look at some of your tools within Command. We're going to look at preparing for your success. And then we're going to talk about recaps and ahas. As you guys are going, guys and gals, going through the day here, I want you to be thinking about taking notes about like those little ahas, those little things that like really speak to you. Okay. Because you're going to hear something that goes, wow, that's interesting. I need to pay more attention to that. Right. And put a little star next to that. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to ask for all of your ahas so I can hear what it is that you're learning. And then obviously what it is that you're going to be applying. Okay. Later in the day, we're going to talk about your daily success habits, which include things like building your database, script practice, lead generation, and practicing your contracts. All right. Welcome to Ignite. I'm going to try to play this video and I hope the audio comes through. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear.
I am Gary Keller. This course will allow you to get off to a fast start you can build on. Because if you repeated the principles every 90 days for a year, believe me, you have an awesome first year. And just as important, you would have built the foundation and momentum for your entire career. It is practical, realistic, and easy to apply. It's about the fundamentals that determine your level of success in the business of real estate. From our research with top agents, we have found that they too started their careers with these fundamentals, and they continue to do them along with their teams to this very day. And it's not hard. It just requires a little focused effort, a few hours every day. Now, there is really just one way to achieve the goal. It's lead generation. Other skills are important, yet without leads to work with, your skills won't mean a thing. Dealing with business never takes precedence over what? Finding business. Never. Research shows that top producing agents make lead generation their #1 priority and the one thing they make sure they always get done. You can do this. And when you do, you will get the leads, the relationships, the experiences, the career, and the income that you want and deserve. Go get them, and good luck.
GK, straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So somebody unmute and tell me, what does Gary say our #1 priority needs to be?
Lead gen.
Boom. Lead gen. With no leads, you got no deals. Okay. And this is what we call a, what is it? What is the concept I'm trying to think of? Well, what doesn't matter. This is your work. Lead gen is the work and it creates the outcomes. Okay. And in real estate and in sales, we always say, don't be attached to the outcome. Fall in love with the work. Something that stuck with me from a few years ago at one of our big trade shows called Family Reunion. There was an agent up on the stage And his name is Lance Loken. He runs the Loken Group in Houston, Texas. And he was only in real estate for about 4 or 5 years at that time. And I believe that year, which was maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he had sold about 1,800 properties. Okay, 1,800 homes. So we're talking a massive, massive business, right? And Gary asked him, hey, what's the secret to your success? He said, there's no secret. Success is boring. I found what works. I show up and I do the work every day. I know how to lead generate. I know how our team lead generates. We come to work and we do that all day long, and it creates the results. And there is no secret. We don't shift or change. We just do the same thing that provides the results. And that's what he leveraged into a huge business. Okay. In fact, as we see here on our next slide, nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads that you have. Okay. So we're going to talk a lot about leads throughout the course. And today we're going to talk a lot about database. And, one of the things I always say about your success is this: your success will be dictated by the size of your database, the amount of new people that you add to the database, and the quality of the relationships that you have with the people in that database. Okay. So the amount of people, the amount of new people you add, and the quality of those relationships. All right, let's keep moving. So as we look at our Ignite course, as I said, we have Spark, we have Elementals. This is a 6-week program. We're going to be breaking it down into basically the two portions, which is Spark, which would be like your incubator for success. And then we'll move into Elementals, where we get more hands-on with some of the nuts and bolts about selling the properties. Okay. And that's going to be more skill-based as well. So where do buyers come from? Where do sellers come from? Well, NAR tells us that the vast majority of clients come to you, right, through referrals, through friends, family members, or some other referral. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys a secret. You all have business waiting for you, and it is sitting in a list of people that is somewhere near you right now. And I'm talking about your phone. Okay. So we're going to do an exercise. Everybody, take your phone out, and I want you to go into the contacts section of your phone. And I want you to scroll all the way to the very bottom. And then I want you to type in the chat the total number of contacts that you have in your phone. Love it. We got 807. Keep them coming, folks. 123, looking good. Keep them coming. 500. Anyone going to beat 1,000? Anyone going to beat 1,000? Come on, let's see what we got. Keep them coming, folks. What is the number of people in your phone? This is your database. All right, Blake, boom, 1,200. Anyone beat 1,227? Anyone beat 1,227? Keep them coming. While you're typing them in the chat, folks, I want you to take the number of people in your phone, and I want you to go to your calculator, and I want you to multiply it times 0.06. Multiply your contact number times 0.06. And now drop those numbers in the chat. Okay. Can somebody tell me what this number is? Anyone know what this number represents?
Is it a percentage of your earnings per sale? Per contract?
Not quite. This is, so what we did, right? Say it again.
The amount of deals you can pick up in a year.
There you go. There you go. Right. George puts the amount of deals. So the statistics tell us that 6% of the people we know will have some sort of we're going to call it a real estate event in the next 12 months. Okay. A real estate event in the next 12 months. Now that could be a purchase, a sale, an investment, a referral, a rental, some sort of a real estate event. Somebody's going to move or has the ability to send you someone that is going to move. Okay. So you have the deals sitting in your database right now. We got to go get them. Okay. The last thing I want you guys to do is to take the number that you just did, the 6% number, and I want you to multiply that times $15,000. Okay. Multiply your number times 15,000 and then drop that in the chat. Multiply your number times 15K. We're going to use an average commission of about 15 grand. Blake's got $1 million database, baby. Look at this. Look at this. 390, 726,000, $400,000. Are these numbers resonating to you? How do you feel about this? Thumbs up if this is like, okay, I'm into this number. Imagine that as your gross commission income. If you only worked your database and was able to attract and capture every potential opportunity inside of your database. Absolutely, that's exciting. Okay. Now, the reality is, number one, you'll never capture all of it, which is totally fine. We don't expect you to, right? Even if only half comes from your database, that's still a pretty good foundation number, right? So you're never going to capture all of it. And number two, you won't capture any of it if you don't prospect and work the database. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is your sphere of influence. So we're going to start with your sphere. And that's what most of today is going to cover. Our sphere, the people that you've already met. Okay. Gary Keller, when he wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, as wise as the man is, he split the entire world up into two groups of people. People he met and people he has not met. Very simple. Okay. So you guys can think about your database in the same way. Everybody in your phone, give or take, are people that you have met somewhere along your life journey. Okay. These are your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, your networking groups, your, people that you went to school with. There may be a bunch of randoms in there as well. And part of your goal for the next couple of days will be to clean your database up and think about who is the person that's in your database and do you even know who they are? Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't call them and say, hey, I don't know why you're in my phone, but I'm just cleaning up my number. How do we know each other? Great. What do you do for a living? I'm in real estate, right? So you'll have those conversations, but that's going to be part of the process. But it's really going to come down to the people that you know, like I said, and then meeting new people. Okay. So right now we're talking about the people that you know. And the contacts in your phone are obviously a great place to look for all of your SOI, your sphere of influence. Now, I think Leticia earlier said you would want to earn trust and get people to use you for real estate. Well, obviously, people prefer to do business with people that they know, trust, respect, and like. Okay. And I love this thought here. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Okay. And we say a lot of times at Keller Williams that, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so when we do calls to our database, we want to demonstrate that we're thinking about them, that we care about them. Because then when they come back and say they want to buy or sell, they're not going to care if you know how to buy or sell a house or go through that process. They're going to care if you're a fiduciary to them, if they can trust you. And the way you build trust is by being interested in their world, in their lives. Okay. And we're going to talk about some scripting about that today. Now, here's another great benefit to your sphere. It costs nothing to call people that you already know, right? This is free lead gen. It's the cheapest and it's the easiest business to acquire. Okay. And over 50% of buyers and sellers find their agent through a friend, a neighbor, a relative, or potentially a past agent that they used. Okay. So half the battle is just knowing people, right? And you will find that business simply by having relationships. Okay. Now, I want you to think about this. Who do you know that is going through a life change right now? And is it possible that they can use your help? So I want you to think about this. Who do you know in your world right now and think about social media. Who have you seen as you're scrolling through on your social that is recently married, getting engaged, having kids, maybe having a separation, some sort of a life event that could predicate the need for a real estate event, right? And I think about things in terms of, the positive and the negative. We've got people that are, making more money than they ever have through a pandemic and haven't had an easy way to spend money and are flush with cash, ready to invest, ready to buy, ready to move up. And then we have a ton of people that are not so fortunate maybe, and they're needing to move for other reasons. Okay. Maybe they can't pay their rent and need to downsize, move in with family. These are all real estate events. So be thinking about that. Who, right, do you know? So in fact, I want you guys to go into your manuals and I want you to turn to page number 7. And page number 7 basically tells us that there are people that are going through life events. Okay. And it gives us a kind of a diagram of what the sphere of influence looks like. Family, anyone that you've done business with or has done business with you, even in another industry outside of real estate, right? Other contacts that you've generated going about your real estate business, like through other lead gen, your friends, parents of friends, children of friends, people in your community, religious associations, other networking groups, okay? So that's the definition of your sphere. And I want you guys to write down somebody that you can think of that's having some sort of a life event. Doesn't mean that they're thinking about selling or buying a house. Just think about who's going through those events and write it down. Write it down. Have you scrolled through and seen, any marriage, like I said, engagements, kids, etc. Okay. All right. Are you guys seeing the PowerPoint? Okay. Yeah, pretty good. All right, good. Just want to make sure. Cool. And does anyone need the manual? Are we all good with the manual? I put it in the chat a few times. We cool? All right. Sounds good. So on the second part of the manual on page number 7, the next question says, who does not know you are a real estate agent yet? Okay. Now, depending on how long you've been in the business, that list could be pretty extensive. There may not be enough lines in your manual to write down all the peeps. Okay. One second. I'm going to put the manual one more time in the chat. All right. Boom. There we go. Okay. And then the last question here is, who have you not spoken to in the last 2 weeks? Okay. Remember, your success is going to be dictated by the number of people in your database, the amount of new people you add, and the quality of the relationships. You can't build a relationship if you're not communicating with the database, meaning we have to be speaking to them frequently, okay? So knowing that we have our sphere, knowing that we have access to people that are going through life events, knowing that many people may not realize that we're in real estate, right? We need to be thinking about having these lines of communication, okay? Now, one other thing that I think about in terms of the way the world works, I have this mindset that every human being I speak to is not going to live where they live someday, whether that's tomorrow or 50 years from now. Every person I talk to will no longer be living where they are living today. Does that make sense? Right? People move on average 8 to 10 years. Now, some people, they're going to live into their home and they'll tell me, I've cold called people that'll say, I'm not moving until they carry me out of here in a box, right? Well, they're still moving, right? They're going to move one day. So even at the end of the life, right, they are going to be moving. So if we think about it, the waves of people moving look like the slide on the screen, okay? And the way this works is that the average person is going to move on average, roughly 8 to 10 years. Okay. Right after somebody moves, the likelihood they will move again is at its lowest point. But over time, the likeliness of them moving is going to start increasing, right? Because of life, things change, right? People want to get into bigger homes, smaller homes through these life events. They want different neighborhoods, different amenities, different areas, quality of life, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So I want you to be thinking about this at all times. And as you look at your graph at those waves, and in fact on your manual in page number 8, there's a simple kind of squiggly line that shows this same little wave here. I want you to write down, who can you think of? Think of like 2 or 3 people that you can write on there that either just moved or is just about to move. Like put some people on this little timeline. Who do you know that just moved, right? They would be at the very bottom of the little trough, right? At the bottom section of the wave, right? And then who just moved recently or not so recently and that's been in their property for 8 to 10 years? Who do you know that hasn't moved in a long time that would be at the top of the wave, right? And so the reason why I like this diagram is because it forces us to think about everybody that we know. Where are they on this timeline? Well, guess what? As you lead gen, your goal is to find the answer out. How long have you lived where you live? If you were to move, where would you go next, right? So think about that. Okay, let's move into lead generating with our sphere of influence. Many of you have seen the script on the screen. Okay, it is very simple, classic, relationship building, and it is FORD, or the Ford model that we use for dialogues. Let's see, AJ, you put in there, I don't know how to connect with people. Boom. This is what we got right here, okay? So I want to walk you guys through, guys and gals, the scripting around Ford. And I'm going to give you kind of my spin on this. And it's pretty simple, okay? This is where you are going to call people. This is where you're going to meet people face to face for coffee dates, going out to lunch. Remember, the economy is open. We can go out and do stuff again, right? So this is a great model for you to use to have a conversation, but also to be purposeful about seeking business, okay? So here's the way I roll with this. Ford, easy, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. And I'm going to talk about this constantly because it's such a simple conversation and it's designed to build relationships. You call somebody, you sit with somebody. How's the family doing? How's mom and dad? How are the kids? How's your brother and sister? How's grandma? Right? And just be interested. Do you have brothers and sisters? If you don't know, you should ask that question, right? You're married. How long have you been married, by the way? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Ask about the family. Make sure everybody's good to go, right? As the pandemic kind of unwinds a little bit, prior to this, we had plenty of things to talk about. Is everybody safe? Is everybody healthy, right? Things are more normalized, but it doesn't mean we can't have the same types of conversations. So how is your family doing? Is everybody safe? Is everybody healthy? Are we good to go? Awesome. Oh, occupation. Folks, this is where the rubber meets the road. I'm going to give you a couple of key questions that I use when we talk about occupation, okay? Number one, the first question I ask is, how is your work? Are you working right now, right? I want to know, are you working, obviously? That's a pretty important question, especially as we think about the economy as a bigger concern for people, because some people are working, some people are not. So are you working? How is your work going? The second thing I ask is, are you working from home? Are you working from home? I'm just curious about that because that may, tell us a little bit about stress levels, income. Like I'm listening for answers to some of these questions because it's going to help me think if this person is a candidate for some sort of a real estate event. Okay. The last question I ask for occupation is, how is your company doing? How is your industry doing? Right? Some industries are just getting hammered and are not doing very well and are at risk, right? So I'm looking for people that are in areas of opportunity, and I'm looking for people that are in areas of distress, okay? So I want you guys to think a little bit about what's happening on a bigger scale economically, okay? There's this concept of what we call the K-shaped recovery for our entire economy, right? And the K, you got one piece going up, one leg going down, right? And the K people that are recovering, that are increasing economically, these are people that through our pandemic have been working full-time, some maybe even working more than full-time. And they've been making as much or even more in many cases money than they're used to in their lives. And they've been saving and investing at a record pace. Okay, the economic data shows us that people have saved more money percentage-wise than ever before in recorded time. And they're also investing in the stock market, crypto, right? They're putting it into precious metals and all kinds of stuff. That's also a record. And the thing is, through the pandemic, people haven't had an easy way to spend their money. Travel is limited. There's only so much stuff you can buy on Amazon, right? I mean, Prime Day, is anyone browsing Prime Day right now while I'm talking on the screen? I hope not. So anyways, right? So those people are in such a great shape because they've saved up all this money. They're cash rich and they're candidates to buy or sell or buy, move up, sell a small property, move to a bigger one, whatever, invest in a piece of real estate. So as you're asking questions about work, listen for those signs for people that are in prosperity. Okay. Now, the down part of the K are the people that are not doing so great. The people that are in the high risk industries. And I think of travel and leisure, right? Hotel workers, cruises are still not happening. Restaurant, bars, I know we're open for that now, but many are still not back to work or having a hard time getting their old jobs back. Okay. And so many of those people also may need some sort of help real estate wise, because they may need to, again, consolidate families, leave rentals, maybe, not paying the rent. There's also people that are property owners that are not paying their mortgage, right? And next week, our moratoriums are supposed to expire, at least for rental. We'll see. Right? There's a lot of talk today that that may get extended. So my guess is it probably will, but we shall see. But one day there will be evictions again. People are going to have to move no matter what. And you guys are the ones that are going to help. Okay. So that's occupation, family occupation, right? Now, here's the thing. Normal humans at this point, folks, are going to ask you, how is your job? How are you doing? What are you doing for work? Okay. Now, obviously, if you're full-time real estate, you're talking real estate. If you are dual career, you're working another job, this is not the time to talk about that other job. You're only going to bring real estate up, right? So here's what I say. How's work? I'll be honest with you. I am so blessed because I am in this real estate business and I have the opportunity to help people build wealth in real estate. And frankly, it's been fantastic. And I appreciate you asking. By the way, can I count on you for support in my real estate business? Okay. This is the script I use. These are the words I say. Can I count on you to help me out and support me in real estate? And guess what? Everybody you know is going to say yes. Why? Well, first of all, they don't even know what that means, right? They're just say, yeah, I'll support you. No problem, right? Of course. Okay. Well, then you're going to take it a step further. Will you think of me? Will you think of me if you hear of somebody that needs to buy or sell a piece of property? Will you think of me? And they'll say, yeah, right? Of course they're going to think of you. Now, what we're doing is we're asking for referrals here, folks. I'm blessed. I'm helping people build wealth in real estate. Will you support me? Can I count on you for that? Yes. Can you think of anyone right now is the third part of it, right? Think of me. Yes, I'll think of you. And then the third piece to that is, can you think of anyone right now that's talked about real estate that I should be in contact with? Okay. So you're making a request for a referral at this point. And when they say, actually, yeah, my cousin was talking about it, my coworker was talking about buying a rental. Awesome. Will you put us on a group chat and introduce me? Okay. Now, pro tip, folks, do not let them say, I'll give them your card or I'll give them your number. Okay. You cannot build a business by hoping and waiting somebody will call you. Okay. You need to be in control of that request. So you're going to ask, and my favorite way to do it is that, can you put us on a group chat and just introduce me real quick and I'll take it offline. Okay. That way, boom, quick text goes out and all three of you are on there, the referral, the referrer, you, and you say hello, and then you shoot them a text one-on-one. Okay, boom, you got the phone number, right? So don't wait for them to reach out to you, okay? So moving on. R is recreation. Simple. What have you been doing for fun? Have you been getting out? Have you been going places? Have you been doing anything? Economy just opened up last week, 1 week ago to be exact, right? What have you been doing? And then dreams is the big picture stuff. What's going on for the summer? This is what I'd be asking. What are you up to this summer? Are you planning to travel? Are you planning to get out? Got anything going on? What's happening in your world? Okay. So that's our Ford script. It's super powerful. Okay. And you hear that the smallest piece of it is real estate, right? We're really just checking in. How's your family? How's your job? What have you been doing for fun? What are you doing for the summertime? We're asking questions. And the more you ask people about their life and their world, the more they're going to realize that you're interested in them, in what's happening. And this is called rapport and relationship building, right? And so there's this simple idea that people will basically have this perception of liking somebody the more they talk in their presence. And people want to talk about themselves. So as you ask these questions and get people to talk about their family and their job and their fun and their big plans, and they're sharing all this stuff with you, there's this perception of trusting because they're sharing, right? They're giving you all of this information. Okay. So that is our script. Does anybody have any questions about the Ford script that I can answer? Again, feel free to unmute, drop in the chat any questions that you've got. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I know that when Rob and I and Eddie, we tell you to call your sphere, many times what you hear us say is call your database and ask if they want to buy or sell a house or ask for a referral. But the reality is what we're asking you to do is call them and build the relationship stronger so that they develop trust for you. And then when they need to move or they have a referral, they'll think of you, right? We're trying to earn mind share and be the number one real estate agent of choice in their brains. Okay. So it's very conversational. It's not necessarily only asking for business. It is really plugging in and pouring into other people. And that's how we build relationships. Okay. So with that said, we're going to move on. And if you need to role play some of this stuff, let us know, your team leaders know, your coaches know. We can help you connect with some people about role playing together. All right, let's keep moving. Know the tools. Okay, so we're going to do a little intro on some of the tools that are available to you through Ignite, one of which is called the Ignite Toolkit. Now, you can find this online, but I'm also going to give you a link. Okay, I just dropped in the chat. Copy and paste this link on a note somewhere so you always have access to it. I've compiled a database of scripts, and there's also an Ignite folder here that has the Ignite toolkit that comes with this course, and it has some other scripting. It has, 411 business plans. It has open house sign-in sheets. It has all kinds of stuff in there. Okay, so get familiar with what's in there. I'll continue to drop the link in the chat as we go throughout the course here. But when you need something for script-wise, it's going to be in this folder. Okay. All right. Also, knowing the tools. I want to show you bigger picture, bigger vision. What is Keller Williams doing right now in the industry? And it's so important to have a general understanding of this model that you see on the screen. Okay. Because real estate is being disrupted at a very, very high level right now. There are tons of companies that are coming in with venture capital money, trying to essentially minimize the role of the real estate agent and frankly, reduce your commissions. Okay, remove you from the equation or remove most of what you do from the equation. And what they're doing is they're buying people's databases through advertising. Okay. I would say personally, I believe our biggest competitors are companies like Zillow, Redfin, and maybe Rex. Okay. These are people that are looking to remove or reduce commissions, right? Like Zillow, they'll sell you leads, but you got to pay for them. Redfin, all their agents are employees on salary, right? Rex isn't even in the MLS. So think about this. Okay. So what you see on the screen is the tech platform that we're looking to help you plug into, pour into, so you have a better understanding of what it means to really operate a database, use artificial intelligence to help you be better at what you do, and take control and keep control of the people that you already know. Okay. So what you've got on the screen, the kind of the lines in the bottom middle, it says Kelly, Keller Cloud, and data. Basically, the Keller Williams goal is to work with you with your databases to capture data that we can use artificial intelligence on to be smarter about the way that we operate. Okay. And then through Kelly and through our, basically smart digital assistant, similar to the one Amazon and Apple and Google have, through that, we connect into other pieces like Command. You see right in the middle, red is Command. And we're going to talk about Command today. So Command links up the cloud. It links up you as the agent. And then KW Connect and the consumer app links up consumers and the market center. Okay. And the goal here is for all the pieces of business to be linked together so that we can add consumers to our database, see what they're doing, see what they're browsing, see when they're ready to transact, feed that back into Command so you can start seeing when is it opportunity time, right? And then be more efficient in selling houses. And at the very top, you see some of our ancillary services like mortgage and insurance and iBuyer programs and so on and so forth, property management. So that's like an overview, but really what it comes down to for you today is Command. Okay, so we're going to look at that in a little bit. I want to show you a few things Command related. So I'm going to share my screen here with Command. One sec. All right, let's look at this. Okay. This is Command, okay? I'm going to, again, drop into the chat the login, so you've got this at all times. Boom, there we go. This is your Command login, okay? Now, if you have not received your logins, check with your MCA, your Market Center Administrator, and make sure you know what your logins. This is gonna be very important for you. There are so many things that you can do with Command, but we're going to talk about a little bit of a piece of almost every one of them as we go through our Ignite course. Okay, so the things I wanted to show you today, number one, where to go to log in. Okay, so you now have the URL to log in. You should know that your credentials will come from the Market Center, and you'll reach out to leadership to make sure you have the logins. And I wanted to show you like the first couple things you should do. Okay, first, on the top right corner under your name, you're going to click your name for the drop down, and you're going to go into settings. And then inside of your settings, underneath, where is it? Connect settings, I believe. Yes. Okay. So you guys can see here on the left-hand side, connect settings. This link right here, marketing profile. Marketing profile. Click that link. Now, what is this? This is basically simply all of your marketing collateral, your photo, your name, your license number, right? Your biography, all of your other contact, your logos, all the information that is going to get auto-populated throughout Command whenever you are going to advertise your app, whenever you're going to make a new flyer, all of it will come from the marketing profile, okay? So goal, before Thursday, get into Command and complete your marketing profile. That is homework assignment number one, okay? Easy, easy. Next, I want to show you briefly how to add a contact into Command. Very simple. We go back to the home screen. If we start from here, the second icon right here is contacts, okay? So I'm going to click on contacts. There's two ways to add contacts into Command. One is simple. You can import a CSV, right? Which I recommend you go ahead and do that, right? You guys can all get a CSV of your contacts in your phone by going into your app store, downloading an app. It's called My Contacts Backup Pro. My Contacts Backup Pro. It's a couple bucks, and it will email you a CSV file of every person in your phone that you can just upload into Command. Okay. Now, I do want to show you very simply how to add a single contact, because you'll do this a lot when you do like open houses or you're lead generating on the phone or knocking on doors. Okay. So look, add contact right here. It couldn't be easier. Here is what I want you guys to do either right now or as soon as the class is over. I want you to add yourself into Command. I want you to add you as a contact. That way you can mess around with adding neighborhoods and getting on email campaigns and creating flyers and custom emails to send to yourself, right? It's like the way to learn and test. So you just type in your name, you type in your email, you type in a phone number. And then I want to make sure that you also click the add more information box down here, because that's going to give you more contact information. And I want to make sure that you add an address. Crucial to obviously the real estate business, because we are very location based. So make sure you put your home address in there. When you do that and you add yourself as a contact, it's going to automatically assign you to the neighborhood you live in. And throughout Ignite, you'll see what we can do using neighborhoods in Command, because Command is connected to the MLS nationally, right? The entire country we have access to through Command. So we can add people to different neighborhoods, even if they don't live locally. Okay, so 2 homework assignments, folks. Complete your marketing profile and add yourself as a contact into Command. I'm going to drop that in the chat real quick. Complete marketing profile. Add yourself as a contact. All right. Any questions around what we just saw?
What was the name of that app that you had mentioned before?
Good question. It's called My Contacts Backup, MCB, My Contacts Backup Pro. All right. Let's go ahead and get back into our slides. Not too much more to go here, but we're going to keep plowing through it. So we looked at Command and our database, starting with you, starting with your sphere. So you're going to add yourself first, and then over time, you're going to be uploading that CSV file or adding, your contacts in there. So in the Ignite toolkit, I just want to kind of briefly talk about what is in there. It's in that link that I sent up there, bit.ly/Nick Scripps. You're going to have job aid resources, right? Which means things to help you do your job. There are script books. There's a buyer lead sheet, meaning a buyer intake page that you can use at open houses or whenever you meet a new buyer. There is what's called a 411. Some of you have seen a 411, but it's basically our abbreviated business plan, a 1-page business plan that covers your entire year. There is a plan your day checklist, so basically like a calendar. There is a job aid for previewing homes. There's a pre-listing questionnaire. There's a pre-listing packet that you can download and customize. And then there's open house tools. Okay, so there's a significant amount of information in there. Just go to that link, open the Ignite folder, and you'll see it all under Ignite Toolkit. Okay. All right. Folks, prepare for success. This is what we're going to be covering in Spark. So today we're at Fuel Your Career. We're looking at the basics. We've talked about, your big why. We talked a little bit about limiting beliefs. We talked about database. We talked about tools. We've talked about Command. Thursday, we're going to jump into lead gen as the core of your business. Friday, we're going to talk about powerful language, meaning scripting. Next week, we're going to get deeper into the database and how we communicate to the database beyond just our first round of calls using the Ford script. And then we're going to get into goals, setting goals that matter, and then deliver your value proposition, developing what your USP is, right? Sorry, I didn't have that slide up. There we go. Deliver your value. Then we're going to talk about finding and winning the buyer. Then we're going to talk about seller leads. Then we're going to talk about a day in the life of a real estate agent. And then the last one, number 10, is not going to be in our Ignite course. That's going to be something that each office will do independently, not in the Ignite days and times. Okay, so it'll be 1 through 9 is what we're really going to be looking at. And then we'll move into elementals right after that. And that's where we're going to break down more in depth different prospecting methods and then different marketing methods and how to use Command to help with marketing. We're going to dive into open houses a little bit more deep now that we are back doing them. We're going to talk about what a seller and listing appointment looks like and a buyer appointment looks like. And then we're going to talk about the mechanics of a deal by making and receiving offers, negotiating, finance, contract to close, and that'll be about it. Okay. So those are the 18 pieces of our Ignite course. Now, we've talked about a lot. I want to show you this, the daily 10-4. Folks, this may be the most important slide because this is your job. This is your job. This is the expectation that we have of you as you move through your career. Okay. And it's called the Daily 10-4. And basically it means 4 different habits with 10 of each every day. And you see number 1, add 10 contacts to your database, right? That's the growing and the manage of your database. Add 10 new contacts. So as you move forward in Ignite, every single day, we expect you to put 10 new people in your database. Okay. Now, how do we do that? Well, first, you're going to call them using the Ford script, right? And that's the second one here, prospect. Speak with 10 people in your database. So the way I would do this is call 10 people in your database and then put them in command right away. Okay. And ideally, down the road, we'll talk about smart plans and how to get them on a drip. Okay. Number 3, it says follow up. Write 10 notes to people you've recently contacted. Now, you're supposed to do this every day. Here's the thing. I'm going to venture and guess that the most of you probably don't even have 10 home addresses for people in your phone right now, right? Maybe you have yours, right? And maybe your folks, and that's going to be about it. Okay. So here's where we pivot a little bit. And I want you to write down on your notes, LCM, LCM, LCM. So instead of necessarily doing the notes, if you don't have addresses to hand out to people or you don't know where people live to drop them off, you can do 10 LCMs a day. LCM stands for this: like, comment, message. Like, comment, message. I want you all every day to go find 10 posts on social media. Like them, make a comment on the post, and shoot a DM to that person. And you can split it up, right? You can do, 5 on Insta, 5 on Facebook, or 3 on the gram, 3 on Facebook, 3 on TikTok, whatever you want to do, right? Split it up, but make sure you're doing 10 of these a day. These are you reaching out and engaging with people. And again, social media, we have the power to do this in a few minutes on our phone while we're eating lunch. Easy, okay? Number 4 here, know your market. And it says here, preview 10 homes per week, okay? This has a little bit of a caveat as well. You're supposed to preview 10 homes every day online, meaning just go in the MLS or go to your own command website, or just if you don't have access to MLS, just go on to whatever website you want, real estate, and just look at 10 properties. And I want you to look at the photos. I want you to read the description. I want you to look at the price, the neighborhood, look at it on a map, go to Google Earth and check it out, okay? The more you look at real estate, the more you're going to get confident with pricing. One thing I learned real quickly is if I wanted to get good at pricing property, I had to look at a lot of houses. So every day you need to look at 10 properties online. And then every week you need to look at 10 properties in person. Okay, so guess what? We can do this again. Okay, so I would say just go to 2 every day, Monday through Friday. Go just check out 2 houses and start exploring different areas, different neighborhoods, right? Don't just go to, Naples or like the most expensive area in town. Look at everything. Think about where you live. What's your demographic? Who are you most likely to be marketing to? Go look at those houses. That's going to help you price-wise. So when someone says, hey, I got a budget of $700K, you'll know, give or take, where they can afford to live, right? And what homes are selling for in those areas. Okay, so now, again, this is your job. This is your job, okay? The daily 10-4. Does anyone have questions about the 10-4? Must be doing pretty good. All right, well, let's keep going. So make the most out of Spark. So the remainder of your day is not time off, right? It's to revisit your main goals, which are, right, grow your business and run your business every single day. So we just talked about your daily 10-4. Here are some other things that you need to be doing on a daily basis. Outside of previewing, if you have not read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller, you need to read some of that on a daily basis. If you're not a huge reader, just pick like 5 pages a day, 10 pages a day. If you want to, well, I'll say it this way. If you want to learn how to net $1 million a year in your pocket after expenses, then you should read the book, right? It shows you how to build a business focused specifically on real estate. Okay. So we're going to preview. We're going to read MREA. We are going to call your sphere of influence using the Ford script. You're going to watch command videos. Learn how to use command. I'm going to type another website in the chat. Answers.kw.com. You know, you guys should have a little note somewhere that has links to all these different things so you can access them very quickly. Answers.kw.com has tutorials on every single piece of command. Okay. It shows how to use every single piece. All right. Ahas. Recap and ahas. So let's see here. I want you guys to look at what page is this on? I think it's on like the last page of your student manual. It is. Okay. And I want you to write down a couple of things on your notes. Based on what we've spoken about today, and we've covered a lot, folks. It's just barely over an hour and 10 minutes. How has your thinking changed? I want you to write a note down. Thinking about the real estate business, whether you're brand new or you've been doing this for 20 years. How has your thinking changed based on what we spoke about today? Was it something in tech? Was it the Ford script? Was it your big why? Was it a limiting belief? Think about what you heard today and you made notes on. How has your thinking changed? So write a note right now. How has your thinking changed? And then the second one, I want you to write down, what do you feel differently about / what was meaningful for you today? Or what I would say is, what, like the biggest impact? What was that one thing that was like, wow, that really clicked for me? Or wow, I didn't think about that. Maybe it was that number you typed in the chat box for potential income sitting in your phone right this second. What was that one thing? And then I want you to go think about the third question. Sorry, I should put the proper slide up there. The third question is this. How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take? I want you to write down one action item, one thing that you are going to either start or continue doing in your business to further accelerate your career. What is that one thing? What is that one action? This goes back to a course we teach called the 6 Personal Perspectives. And one of those perspectives is to be learning based. And what we mean by that is we learn for the sake of doing. We don't learn for the sake of knowing. We learn for the sake of doing. So what is the action? What are you going to do? And then the last question, I want you to write down a quick note about what tool, model, or system will you use? Based on what you saw today, we looked at a few different things. We looked at command. We looked at the Ford script. We looked at our database. We talked about My Contacts Backup to import our database into command. We talked about the daily 10-4. That's a model. Which one is the one you feel you need to incorporate ASAP? And then make a little note about how that's going to help you be more accountable. How's it going to help you be accountable? So take another minute, write down your answers to those 4 questions. I'm going to have a few of you volunteer to give me your answers, and then we're going to be done for today. Okay. So number 1, how has your thinking changed? Somebody unmute yourself and tell me how your thinking has changed based on what we talked about today. Don't be shy, folks.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I never really thought about just all the contacts I have. So it's like with the amount of contacts I have and the people I've already connected with, I've essentially already laid the groundwork for success in a person-to-person industry. So I just need to mine my database consistently.
Yeah. Like you're a millionaire already, buddy. You just got to pull the money out of there, right?
Yep, it's all there. So.
It's sitting there waiting for you. All right, good. Thank you. Who wants to contribute for the second one, which is what do you feel differently about? What was meaningful? What was the one thing for you today? Who wants to contribute on that one?
For me, committing to just more time lead generating, just really locking in and putting that 2 to 3 hours of lead generating in 5 days a week, like really getting that down.
I love it. I love it. Half the time I ask a question, folks, the answer is going to be lead generation. So yes, we got to be lead genning every single day. And that's what it is. That's what it comes down to, right? People get bummed out in this business because they don't have any deals, but it's because they haven't lead generated, right? And if you don't have any deals today, think about what you've done in real estate for the past 90 days. Whatever you've done in the past 90 days is the result you're getting right now. And whatever you're doing today will not show up for another 90 days to 4 months from now, right? And guess what? We're almost in July. July, August, September, October. The leads you generate today will convert between September and October, and then we're going to move into the slower time of year. It doesn't have to be your slower time of year, but the truth is there will be less transactions happening through the winter months. So all the seeds you plant today are going to carry you through the holidays. Okay. Arthur, thanks for that. All right. Who's got number 3 for me? What is the action you will take? What is the one action that you said, I have to start doing that right now? Somebody chime in for me. How about, let's see, Michael.
No, okay.
Oh, there we go. Letitia.
But no, go ahead. Michael, go for it.
No, Letitia, you chimed in. You're up.
God. Okay. So the one thing I'm gonna start doing actually, finish my database.
Okay.
I did everything, right? But actually I was only able to upload about 90 people from my contact, right? From my phone contact, because there was issues. So I guess I have to kind of like put them in a spreadsheet and then upload them. Yep. So, but yeah, so I have another 200 something to go. So maybe following your pattern, maybe adding 10 at a time, 10 per day will probably help me build that.
Okay, sounds good. So putting my coaching hat on, you're telling me you're going to add 10 new people in your database every day.
Yes.
All right. That's called a commitment, folks. I love it. All right. The last question that we have, folks, and we're going to wrap it up. Tool, model, system. What are you going to use? What is one thing you heard today that you're going to use? Is it command? Is it the Ford script? Is it the 10-4? What is the system, tool, or model that you plan to use going forward to help you be more accountable? Who wants to finish us off on the last one? Don't be shy, folks. Chime in.
I'd say command.
Michael, I love it. Command, easy enough, right? Boom, one and done. Answers.kw.com to start learning more about it. We looked at how to add a contact. We talked about marketing profile. As we proceed, guys and gals, we're going to look at every one of those tabs in Command. The opportunity section, the design section, the smart plans, the social, the consumer app, the website. So if you don't take the things we talk about day by day, it's just going to make it a little bit more difficult every single time we move forward. So spend some time, if it's 20 minutes or 30 minutes in Command, every day we meet so you can learn just a simple piece so you don't get stuck when it comes time to sending out a mailer, but you haven't even figured out how to put your contacts in yet, right? So you want to be staying consistent and doing that day by day, okay? All right, we're going to wrap up, everybody. Remember the daily 10-4, 10 contacts, 10 people into the database, 10 LCMs, 10 previews online, and 10 in person per week. If you just do that over the next 3 weeks, you probably will be able to book at least one appointment with a buyer or seller. I'm confident in that, okay? As we end for the day, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, anything I can help you with as we wrap up? You good? All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. I will see you all on Thursday with Mr. Eddie from Cerritos. We will take the second session of Spark. I'll post in the social media groups for Spring Street, Firestone, or Town Center, and make sure I'll post the participant guides the night before. So that'll be ready for you. And of course, we will remind you of the links. I look forward to seeing you all then. All right, folks. Have a great day. Go find
Thank
some
you.
business. It's there waiting
Thanks,
for you.
Nick.
You are welcome.
Thanks, Nick.